Right guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, thanks to Delta Exchange for sponsoring the streams. If you want to support the stream and you're looking for somewhere to trade options and derivatives, you can check them out in the link in the description, and you can get a deposit bonus using my link, so go check them out. Yeah, I've had a terrible week, Joe. I had a winning trade on Sunday. In fact, I had a little scalp winning trade yesterday, but I've taken a few unnecessary losses this week just out of like low conviction setups. I got in on this around here just because it looked as though there was a lot of selling into that low, and I like the 4-hour RSI. If I was a bit more patient, I'd have held it, because my initial target was up in this zone, but I closed it for 5.5% on a weekend, which I was pretty happy with, to be honest. But just the manner, and one of the reasons I took the long is the manner in which we dropped from here is quite inefficient, in my opinion. Like, this was the daily open here, we nuked straight down, so I just thought it was a very logical trade to take for some mean reversion. But just the way it's moved has been pretty boring, hasn't it? Even now, like I tried 2 shorts this morning because we got this divergence here, and then it dropped, and it's losing momentum still, but it still puts a high in. And to be honest, if this nukes now, which it definitely could based on this RSI, I'd be pretty annoyed. I'll be pretty annoyed at how weak this high is. Right, I'm going to give Marusha a call. See if he answers.
Hey, how are you doing, mate?
Hello, my friend.
Everything is good?
Well, yeah, apart from losing the will to live.
Yeah, and I didn't short because I don't know, market was just at the top of the range doing nothing, and I was like, maybe I'm just gonna get a fucking green dildo in my face, you know? It's so frustrating.
But it just doesn't make that's why I can't find the logic in it. The fact that they're doing so much to move price in the direction that it's finding it the most difficult to go. It seems like illogical to me, but that's me.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I always ask myself if they really put that much pressure, or if that's because we're not used to the less liquidity, because me and you still used to 2020, 2021 mainly, and since 2022 there were clearly a lack of liquidity in market.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good way to think about it. But that's annoying because you don't want to long either. At some point they're just gonna turn it off, and either you got the bottom or you take the risk to long the new high, you know, and get a big red candle. So
exactly.
And when you look at the top we have done some day ago, they never do that shit. It's like a clean range, you know. Sometimes there is a little SFP, there is a little wick, you know, but it's clean range. But bottom, they give you 0 fucking entry, and that's so annoying. As you say,
it's so you know once they clear the book, it's so no one populates the book, so they just whipsaw it back up on like fucking £8,
yeah.
$8.
I mean, I don't want to provide ask when it's low, you know, right?
Yeah,
if the price crash, I'm not gonna provide new ask. I don't mind providing bid because I know a lot of people are clean already. I'm not gonna chasing some ask. It's dead, you know. There is no way I do it.
My gut instinct, based on what I've seen before, just based on the structure of what we've had for the last, I mean, how many weeks is it now that we've been like doing this?
6, 8,
5, 6 weeks since we started actually moving. Like, based on this like RSI structure on the daily, particularly on Bitcoin, and the way that this 4-hour RSI is structuring, where it's very tight and slow, and actually, like, the way I look at it, you know this RSI momentum relative to price impact, it's disproportionate. You know, we're at the level, we're above the breakdown level from here, and we're grinding up. Like, so from past experience, my sense and gut is that we get a real violent momentum reset, because it's so lethargic that my number one scenario gut instinct is that RSI does this and it slams quickly. That's because I've just seen it before where it can't it's not regaining momentum, and I just think it needs to inject some life into the market. I could really see like a real violent 1 day RSI reset. Personally, that's my number one sort of guess of what we're going to get.
But that's interesting because you're open to a retest of the high actually, and I'm pretty sure most of people who are listening right now who are bearish kinda, they wouldn't even consider this possibility, and that means that's a proof you're a good trader, because you're kind of open-minded to a new situation where we could retest higher liquidity and be ready for it, but most of people don't consider this, and this is why we got some violent candle up or down, because people weren't really aware that's a possibility,
For me, this single print is sort of the make or break for me under this initial balance from the other week, because if it's bearish, it should reject hard off this single print. If it traverses this single print relatively quickly, then I think all these highs here are ripe. So I'm happy to. Well, I'm not happy to wait. I'm bored. I want to trade, but I've just got to, I got to trust my judgment and know that it's not my market right now. Sadly.
Yeah, but it's impressive. I already told you last time, but it's impressive you have this capacity of step down for a long period of time, because it's been a while you step down from trading every day. Mm-hmm. And be like, yeah, it is what it is, it's not my condition, I'm not gonna cut my end into it. That's kind of impressive thing to do. Like, for me, I can. This is why I trade Forex right now, and I'll come because I
should be open to doing different stuff. Actually, I'm too stuck in my ways and single-minded. I'm very narrow-minded, like in what I want to do. Like, I only want to trade crypto, and I end up just getting frustrated instead of trying something else sometimes. I've been trying the seltzers as well. They're quite good. It's like drinking fizzy water. So yeah, I don't know what next month's going to be. What should I try next month?
I just drink whiskey, to be honest.
Oh,
I don't change that much.
I haven't drank whiskey since the Up Only stream.
It's been a while. I forget, it was like what, 1 or 2 months ago?
It was May.
Damn! Jesus. The time is so fucking slow right now, I swear to God.
Where was it? Hang on, let me go on the daily chart. It was right here when I went on, 19th of May. The only reason I know that is because if we mark where I went on and said your entries aren't generational, because Kamikaze tweeted me here as we were retesting my level, and now there we are. Legend.
Remember it.
What
it was hilarious.
Tool, man. This guy just asked, how often do I front run myself? I rarely front run myself on entries, just because I've got like the data to prove that it's minus EV in the long run to front run my entries. More often than not, patience rewards front running, based on my previous experience. But I do often front run exits because that's plus EV. Because, for instance, it's like the trade I took the other day, to be honest. Where was it? So I got in at 16.35. Where did I close? 60. I closed here because, as you can see, we had this drop off in momentum here, and I was targeting up here, but I closed here, and I avoided the round trip of 50-60% of my profit, unrealized profit. And in that instance, I didn't take it because I couldn't be bothered, but it gives me the opportunity to then re-enter for that next leg, and it cuts out, like what would it have been? I caught 5.5%. It would have been, if I'd have held that trade instead of front running my exit, it'd have been another 23 hours for an extra 3%. So then your EVs just deteriorate and your time in trade is like bad. I get excited about, because whenever you see this like compression, it's like whenever I see price action like this where the RSI just isn't really doing anything, I basically, the visual I get with this is it's like holding an inflatable ball underwater. It's basically going to pop up eventually. So I literally stacked. I left a bunch of asks all up here. I just caught this leg down, like just into here. I just literally, that's all I took is that leg, and they're the dream trades for me. But this is a good example here, is like this compression where sellers are selling quite aggressively, but they're not really breaking it down. So you just got so many stops. So it's always good to just leave some stinks underwater.
Yeah, I agree with this one.
Bottle of water.
Bottle of water.
You basically want to like focus on this like point of control basically, and know that there's all these stop losses, because basically the thought process is there's the amount of stop losses here. Whoever's going to initiate this move is going to absolutely absorb all those stop losses, because it's like whenever there's a good amount of liquidity, that's where you're going to get the reaction, because anyone with size can actually get filled. Basically.
That is a stop loss, yeah.
Yeah. So wherever there's a good build-up of stop losses, that's where I like to enter trades, because that's where the reaction's going to happen. Bottle of water.
Bottle of water.
Now I'm already preemptively going to fade this level, because there's always a possibility that I'm going to be wrong, but the odds are in my favor that I get at least a reaction to be able to reevaluate my reasoning behind the trade. Yeah. It's probably a 15% chance that it just blows straight through this and blows me out. So in that instance, I'm going to leave asks in this zone all the way up here, because if my average entry is going to end up being about 1768 if I get fully filled, the likelihood is I'm going to at least get a move down to be able to get out if I'm wrong, if I feel as though I'm wrong. So
yeah, and the volatility is your ally on this one. That's the thing, very easily. If you short right now and we just do a spike up and re-go there, you have no volatility. Your invalidation is still around, aside if you get wicked out because you're using a too tight stop loss. Mm-hmm. But you don't have time to invalidate yourself. And for your plays, it makes sense to me, because volatility gonna yeet the fuck out of you if you're already wrong,
Yeah.
So volatility is your friend for an invalidation.
And so this guy's asking, how do I feel being wrong at this moment? So this is about what's the word? Analyzing the way. So basically, I'm more likely going to be right if we get a quick move here. If we do this, like this, then I'm going to get rid of my asks. Because if we start bumping up to the level where I want a quick, inefficient move, then the likelihood is it's going to blow straight through. So it's all about how it approaches this level. I've got my asks here now for a quick move to fade. But if over the next 8 hours we do this, I'm going to get rid of those asks. And then I'll probably leave my asks here instead for another inefficient move. I basically leave them at points where it's going to quick revert if it moves inefficiently, basically.
By the way, FTX tomorrow gonna list Stargate Finance, so be ready to get dumped on.
Nice. Right. I think we might call it a day there, mate. I've been going, we're going like an hour and a half nearly.
It's all good. And as usual, I appreciate a chill chat with you, and I'm gonna wish you a nice day, brother. Take it easy,
Cheers, mate. Well, always nice to chat to you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I catch you later. Thank you.
Cool. Take care, dude.
Bowl water. Maybe I'm just gonna get a fucking green dildo in my face, you know? It's
That's getting
so
clipped.
frustrating.